Why are you laughing? I haven't got enough sleep on.
I don't want you to cry.
Hey folks, welcome back. It's the Big Barn Build. Today I get to share with you the emotional roller coaster that has been this week and plastering. But there's been some huge progress and some huge decisions, so stick around and I'll explain all. Why are you laughing? I haven't got enough sleep on.
I don't want you to cry.
Rupert, if only you knew.
Rupert's absolutely so because he just stood under a.
They're so different.
Daddy.
Oh man.
Oh dear, Daddy. Oh dear, Daddy.
Well, I mean,
So
they can still plaster that wall, can't they? Then we can.
No, yeah, we
defend
can.
that. What?
But we could have kept the curve
I know.
and had these doors.
Yeah, but yeah.
But now we're thinking actually it looks better from the other side without the curve, because there's an even amount of wall either side.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, that's why we're trying to get a wriggle on, because they want to carry on around all the walls now.
Yeah, definitely.
So if you hadn't guessed it, we've just found out that the doors, massive balls up. The doors are actually only 2 meters wide, not 2.8. How did that happen? Even just looking at the scale of the photo, it's quite hard to tell, but because they're 3.3 tall. All we need to do is they can fit within the arch.
I can't believe they could have fit within the arch, though.
Well, it still needs to go higher. So
Still, we could have kept the curve.
we could have kept the curve. But I think one day we'll be like, oh, it's quite nice. I don't know.
Right.
Tom says it's going to be okay.
Tom / council.
And the Velux will line up with them still.
Yeah.
Right, fast forward 2 hours, 2 coffees. We're rebuilding. Tom's not really that angry at me. He's not showing it at least.
No, positive today.
Mr. Positive for Monday. So we decided we're going to do a little like nook here instead. So we're going to put some shelving in there. We box out the top. That's going to be boarded. Angle bead over there. The doors, we don't need to have the doors, but if we do go for these doors, they fit within that opening, albeit a little bit higher, so we would fit them and then board around them. But we're just pushing on to get that bit done so that the guys can come around the corner. They can't skim this ceiling until they've got boards on that wall. But all of that end's done, and then we'll work across this way. That can stay as it is for now until we make a decision. Right, just got off the phone to Carl over at Frame Reclamation where the doors are. He got it wrong again. He got it wrong again. Anyway, turns out they're 2.3 meters, not 203. Which is better for us because it means there's a little bit more width. The height is correct. They're from Paris. And they are not too far from here at the moment. So if we go that route, it'll just mean opening up this side of the arch by about 150 mil, which is perfectly doable. Everything else is not going to be touched, so the other side of that wall is fine. The guys are just getting the second coat on now. I'll give you a quick look at what it's looking like. Well, I'm emotionally drained after that, aren't we? We are at the end of day one. These guys are amazing, absolutely amazing. I mean, the finish, it's a heck of a lot. 3 guys, I mean, we're 30, 60 square meters of ceiling, plus, I mean, double that. Don't go on there. But it's always hard to tell the finish on camera, but I can assure you that is a great finish all the way through. That said, we still haven't actually paid a deposit. We haven't committed to the arch, so we could still just get that skimmed as it is tomorrow and paint, and then have a plastered arch and get a door made. But there's just, I think we'll always regret not getting those doors, so I'll have another chat with them later and we'll make a decision before the end of the day. So then they've done this wall, but then the next job for me in the morning is just to get the last 3 boards done in here. I might even do it this evening whilst I'm riding the wave. And then they can skim out the whole of the pantry. That'll be done. Quite enjoying the darker colour. The nice thing is it's kind of made the space feel a little bit smaller, which is a good thing. I do need to clean up the top of these doors because everywhere else we've actually removed the windows for plastering, but we had to leave these ones in, so I'm going to try and get the skim off the top of them. Right, we're back in the kitchen. We're now Thursday. That was one day with 3 guys skimming, and then the rest was finished up yesterday. So a massive progress, and it's really exciting to see the space, and we're actually at a point now where we're going to be looking at decorating in the next week or so. But there's also another issue. The kitchen is coming today. Now unfortunately, we didn't quite get our scheduling right. We were really hoping that this place could be painted and floor polished, and then the kitchen could just be rolled in and we could work on it without having to double move things. However, it's not that bad because we're going to create some space out there so we can wheel them in, and then I guess we've then got a week or so to get the place prepped, and then we can move in a unit at a time. And more than likely, if we put them all in here, they would have been all jumbled together anyway, so it's better off stashing them out there and then bring in 1 unit at a time and start fitting that way. Right, now the elephant in the room that is the arch. I cannot believe the full circle that's happened. Not huge, yeah, there is a waste of money because it costs us time, Tom's time, my time to get it done, but material wise we haven't wasted too much. So what I didn't explain in this video, I don't think, is when we saw the advert we found out that the doors, or they were listed as 2.8 meters wide, 3.3 meters tall. That took it over another 400 mil or so, and or more, and that meant that the curve had to definitely go because there's no way the doors would have fitted. In actual fact, those doors were a bit wider than we would want because it would be really quite offset in the middle of this wall. But we thought they were such a one-off piece. Get rid of the wall and we'll butcher that opening to make them work. So I did that, and then the next morning, Carl from the reclamation yard messaged me and went, I've just had the guy on the estate where they are based measure them up, and he got his digits wrong. It's actually 2.3, not 2.8. He scribbled it down wrong. And for about half an hour, we were pretty certain that we just unnecessarily destroyed the whole curve. But it now turns out that we still needed to gain about 150 mil. And I always have a moan when people get these sort of things wrong, because a bit like when the guys cut the Velux window wrong. Velux windows there, you check with your tape measure before you do any cutting. And of course, because these doors weren't on site, we were just like trusting, I guess. So they said 2.8 wide, which is here. We thought, we'll rip all this out, you know, it's got to go anyway, and then we'll build this to suit. It's actually 2300, which is better. In actual fact, it's probably the optimum. So that comes to here, this line, so we can take it out to this stud. It looks pretty much central in the wall. It's still a sensible size, and once we've got some more, well, hopefully once we've got the doors here, we'll explain that we might be adapting them slightly so you can open the whole thing up as well. Almost transform them into bifold doors. Anyway, that'll have to wait, but the good news is it happened for a reason. The curve had to go, but the doors will work. That morning, while the guys were setting up the skin and ceiling, 7 AM they turned up. So I'd had 5 hours sleep. Tom turns up, is kind of a little bit confused why I've just destroyed all the work we just put in. But I had been messaging about the doors the night before. Basically, we posted the doors on Patreon the moment we found them, and we said, guys, help us make this decision. Do we just stick with our guns, go with how we've left it, or do we tear it all out and make a feature of these doors? And 99% of people said, you've got to do it, you've got to go for the doors. Admittedly, they weren't the people just about to tear out the wall, but it's on their head. If the doors turn up rotten and they don't look right, Patreon, you're to blame. But anyway, I think it's going to be the best decision for this room we're going to make. Anyway, we actually boxed this all out using eye studs, or eye joists. So we've got a 300mm deep little void here. Now we've got two options. One is we sit a nice little dress set in here. We've got lighting and it could just sit as a feature, or I happen to have a load of exactly 300mm deep pine glulam boards from building the house, which I've, conveniently stashed. They will actually sit here really nicely as floating shelves, so we can make a nice feature there. Lights on the top, we've allowed for a socket down here, although we haven't cut it out, so I've got to hope I can find that. And then in time, once we've got the doors fitted, this will get skimmed, return into the frame, and it should just look like those frames have always just, well, like they grew there, even though that it's a cowshed and they're from Paris, and it's a little bit odd, but it'll work, I assure you. Anyway, things are drying nicely in here, and it won't be long before it's all pretty even, ready to paint. These are our cables that come through for above cabinet lighting, one over there for the floating shelves, 2 ovens here, the rest are in boxes, and then into the pantry. A bit gloomy in here at the moment, but that was all finished yesterday as well, and our cable area is up there. But it is looking awesome. I'm so excited to decorate. It's like a whole new chapter of the build so far. Admittedly, we've got to go back to insulating and boarding today. It's my job, but it's nice to have a few rooms to this point. Now, for the benefit of our international viewers and those who are used to just taping and drywall type construction, that was an option for us, but there's something nice about a traditional skim. Now, I don't know what the time difference is and the budget difference is between those two methods. However, to give you a guide for what this took, like I said, it took a day and a half this whole room was done. I mean, the ceiling alone is 6 by 5, is about 60 square meters of ceiling. Probably another 2 times that for the walls, I'm guessing. So it's a big old space, but a day and a half for the guys to come in and do it. We're now 2 days beyond that, and really, you could paint this now. If you were DIY SOS, you'd be in here painting the moment they left, but we want to make sure it's fairly even throughout the whole room before we start painting, and I think it won't be long before we can safely say that it's ready for a mist coat. Now, I don't know what it would have taken, probably a full day to tape and join this, to sand it all back, maybe the same amount of time, and it might have been cheaper. Now, cost-wise, I mean, there's nothing straightforward about this room as far as access, size, scale of it. It costs about £2,000, just over £2,000, I think, from memory, to get the whole thing skimmed. But, you know, that was Monday to Wednesday, there was someone on site, 3 guys on the first day, more scaffold for access. It is what it is, unfortunately, with the scale of build. That's sort of scale of the cost, but that's 1, 2, 3, 4, sort of 5 or 6 days labour. And of course, it's a professional company, it's a company with overheads and stuff, so I do understand that. And I'd much rather, with the rooms like this, find someone that's got 3 guys, 4 guys that are used to working together, that are set up for these sort of more commercial builds or commercial scale rooms, rather than the other option would have been to find a one-man band or one person, a labourer. Might cost the same, because this probably would have taken over a week, because they would have been doing, you know, at least there's this steel to break it up. They would have been doing, you know, probably a ceiling and a wall one day, then another wall and this wall and then a ceiling. Before you know it, you've probably spent the same. I might be wrong there, but I know from the quotes we've had elsewhere, going with this new company, who might be able to send in 2 or 3 guys and have a really good finish, I must add, it's actually worked out cheaper than the previous guy who was just doing it solo. So it doesn't really, I was initially put off thinking, no, we'll find a local that's going to work solo, but it's not actually any cheaper. Maybe they just didn't want to do the job, but our second quote for doing the rooms from the first guy, they were kind of working out 500 to 600 quid a room for the small room. So I think we found our guys, put it that way. Now we're going to have doors there. We can fast track the kitchen a little bit further along, then we can fit the doors, and we've actually got a relatively clean space away from the build, so we can basically close off the doors and know that that side's pretty much, well, 80% finished, and then carry on this side knowing that we can not worry about taking materials and tools in there unnecessarily and using it as a dumping ground. But that's it, that was the emotional roller coaster that was the kitchen plastering. Huge thank you to the guys at Pure Plastering who've been doing our work for us. I'll leave a link to their website or whatever details I can find. And next up, we're going to be working on the big open plan area. Loads of boards, much more straightforward. We should be able to board it in a day or 2. I'm going to spend today lagging pipes, but more on that in the next video. Thanks for watching, and remember, if you can, do it yourself, and we'll see you next time.